Aoife Murray back in Croke Park. This is really a home from home for Cork Camogie, I think, isn't it?
Well, look, I suppose I don't think anybody calls it home outside the Dubs, but it's great to get back here. It's probably obviously where you want to end your year. So yeah, it's great to get back here, but you just don't want to be a number. You want to be the winning team in Croke Park.
Once again, yourselves in the senior final, and then you're joined by the intermediates. It's a very happy training group at the moment, I'd imagine.
Yeah, look, it's brilliant, and I'm delighted for the intermediates. They train so hard and with the exact same level of dedication and work rate as ourselves. And that's a great boost for the seniors as well, to be senior intermediates, have to train their socks off. Please God, they'll get over the line this year. I don't think there's a group more deserving of success. So, it'd be great if both of us goes up, but we just have to go and give it our best.
You're effectively the one squad. I mean, we've seen, I suppose, if you go back a few years, Wexford had intermediates playing in senior finals on the big day in 2 All-Ireland medals. There's been a core of this group who've been feeding into yourselves over the years as well. Yeah,
and that's probably the reason, I suppose, senior teams sometimes can be successful on the back of the hard work intermediate teams do. And even seeing the likes of Niamh O'Callaghan come onto our team this year, she's come through the intermediates. Chloe Sigerson came through the intermediates. Libby came through. So it just goes to show that there is a route there, and I think that's a great kind of card as well for the intermediates. Especially for those who may have their eyes set on senior level, that actually this is a great stepping stone and massive learning curve as well, as those girls came on to senior and they had already played in a lot of the stadiums. I think it can really help the senior team.
What's the Cork senior dressing room like on All-Ireland final day? Is it organised chaos? Is it calmness? Is it nerves? Is it a mixture of the above?
I think, look, it's a concoction of all of those. You'll have someone sitting quietly, you'll have someone going absolutely like nuts in the corner, and we'll have music playing, and it'll be just the exact same as it was for the semi-final, only in a bigger dressing room. I suppose we're lucky that we don't take a whole lot of notice of all the huff and puff that happens in an All-Ireland day. We've come here loads of times and always something new has happened, whether our bus hasn't fitted in the tunnel and we've had to walk, or there's been some traffic issue outside. So every year something new happens, and it's just taking it in your stride.
We're down here at the Davin ends, and obviously you'll be commanding that goal to not so far away from us at one stage in this match as well. You'll be hopeful there's nothing chaotic around the Cork goal mouth, but you've got good defenders in front of you, and you'll be confident enough. But Kilkenny always, likes of Shelley Farrell, who's here today, sticky forwards as well. Recipe for an interesting match.
Look, I'd love to say that there won't be chaos around my goals, but there's going to be. You're here, you want to be challenged as well at the same time, and are you able for it? Are you up for it? And with the likes of the Kilkenny forwards, they've got a super mix of the likes of Shelley, and then you've got the likes of Katie Power and all those girls. So people who are extremely strong, and you've got the nippy forwards. If we can come through that game conceding very little, I think it could go a long way to winning the game, but that's actually the biggest challenge, is how to stop them from conceding, because they'll hit you, and before you know it, just like the league final, they'll be up by 10 points.
They're the kind of games that could be 10-point gaps or a 1-point margin, really.
Yeah, and it is, and a lot of people here today ask me, will it be a tight game? And the truth be told, I have no idea, because it could be everybody went to the league final saying it's going to be a tight game, and at half time, was it 11 points to 2 or something like, bananas. It was ridiculous, really. So that was probably the first time there's been a big gap between us. The year before there was 4 points in the All-Ireland final between us. Last year there was 1 point between us in the league final. You would probably, if you're a betting woman, you'd put money on it to be close, but it could completely be turned on their heads, and one team could go and shoot the lights out.
What drives Aoife Murray? What keeps you coming back for more? Is it days like this?
It's the challenges like this, I suppose, really. Every year you get that little bit older, you get that little bit sore and longer to recover, and you do question yourself, going, am I able? Will I be able for this? And I think for me it's the challenge of coming back, and will I be the Aoife Murray for the girls? And I suppose that's what really kind of wants me to come back. And every year Camogie gets better as well, so every year I'm like, can I do it? Will I be good enough for the team? Will I be good enough for the game? And I think that's what really kind of drives you.
do you have to get fitter and stronger every year, or as a goalkeeper can you kind of withstand some of that advances in the game, if you like?
I think if you want to kind of go all the way, you can't. You can't be any different between your condition versus the outfield's condition, and I think that's just maybe it's how goalkeepers were back in the day. Maybe the less fitter under 12 gets put in goals. When anybody that'll tell you that you need to have be able to play outfield to play in goals, and these games you need to be able to cover 30 yards, 40 yards. With one stage last year I was out by the sideline. So no, for me, I suppose with the body I have to be smarter. I certainly won't be doing the sprints or anything like that. But yeah, no, it's just keeping yourself always in check and always in tow and within touching distance of everybody else.
How much is the club helping you to keep going, to keep it going? They've obviously been there, and it's the usual cliche of you start with the club, you end with the club. But how have you been working that kind of in with, keeping going for yourself?
Look, it's very hard to give as much to the club as you would want to, and that's probably the biggest issue county players face. It's very hard to go back into your club dressing room when you haven't seen them for 2 weeks. But at the same time, I think the club always respects the fact that you're in this position because of the club. And I know that I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for the likes of John Cronin, Tim Barry Murphy, Johnny Dunlea, my own brothers, Kathleen Healy, all those people who, John Cronin backed me from the age of 7 and said I was a goalkeeper and that was it. And if it wasn't for the likes of John and Marie Corkery and those who brought me to training, I certainly wouldn't have achieved this, and please God, I'll do the club proud.
What is it about a goalkeeper and your love of goalkeeping? Why do you feel you love the position so much? Or at times are you like, I think I'll take a journey out the field now, it's the bothering thing to do?
Well, I think sometimes it can be a forced love. You don't have any other option but to love it. It depends. It depends on how you look at challenges and how you look at the position itself. I find there's so much about goals that's interesting. The tactical view of goalkeeping, your ability to hit a target, whether it be 10 yards, 20 yards, or 60 yards out. Your ability to take knocks with regard to letting a soft goal in. The ability to pull off the save that nobody thought that you would pull off. And you're just that whole communication levels, knowing your defence, who can I give out to, who can I not give out to, who do I need to put the arm around. And for me, I love all that side of the mental side of it. That's actually, training goals can be extremely hard, and sometimes I get the outfield players to do it and they shy away. So it's funny, it has its own physical demands as well.
Can it be more tactical and physical and technical at times maybe than some positions on the pitch?
Well, it's probably the position that has the least amount of freedom. There's no, I'll just try this, because if it doesn't come off, you're absolutely goosed. But at the same time, sometimes you can actually just let your body do it, whether it's a reactionary save, and that's the freedom bit, where you don't think and your body does it. But it's hugely tactical, to be honest.
And I suppose all that talk about goalkeeping, are there moments in games that stand out for yourself where you've done those things right, if you like?
Well, probably the best moments are for me is when you don't see me, and it's the moments where I've organised my defence. It's probably the work that goalkeepers will never ever get credit for, and it'll be because I could have just simply passed a message to my full back, who's passed it to the centre back, and they've shored up that maybe gap there. Or it could be my cornerback who's just feeling a small bit low because she might have made a mistake, and being able to communicate and getting her back up into I suppose the state of play again, and her winning the next ball. And actually they're probably the best moments, and it's weird that it's the ones that are unseen, and nobody outside of the position or your teammates will ever, I suppose, they'll never give you the credit for it. So yeah, weirdly, it's the non moments. It's
some of those moments here in Croke Park that maybe contributed highly to you winning All Irelands. Like, is there anything kind of, now that you look down there and you're going, yeah, I remember that, and that was a key moment in that final, and thankfully we went on to win?
And look, I suppose I've been lucky enough to be out there a few times, and there's always moments out there, whether it be, I remember down there, I don't know, was it 05, 06, it must have been 06, I can't remember, I was getting tipped, and we almost kept them scoreless in the second half. And now people think there's a rivalry between us and Kilkenny. The rivalry between us and Tip was extremely intense, and I remember at one stage I'd stopped the ball twice in a reactionary way, but then all of a sudden it got past me and I just saw Mary O'Connor dive like a goalkeeper, stop it with a hurry. Now we were up 7-8 points, and for it to play the ball out, and there was about 6 of us around just literally fist pumping the air, and that was a very special moment down there, even though we did give them a point in that second half, which I think Mary is probably still annoyed with, but yeah, there's been a few of those moments, and they're great. I had another moment down there where a ball went over my head, and that's probably one of the moments still that stands out for me, not because the ball went over my head. It was against Galway. Is my full back Katrina Foley, who was captain, literally one-handed lifted me up off the ground. So I had no time to feel sorry for myself, I had no time to dwell on it, and she just looked at me and she told me to cop on and drive on. And that again was a lovely moment, which is weird because I'd made a mistake, or I'd misjudged the flight of the ball, and it was just such a nice moment for my full back to have my back.